up to date on my email or Facebook things, but
It may have been this morning now. I thought it was yesterday, but
Yeah, I think it was very, very recent, the cancellation.
yeah, okay. Did they say what the cases were today or yesterday? I haven't paid attention.
I I haven't seen that either today. But yesterday, 140,000. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Napa, right?
No, I hope not.
Gosh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Nobody has really said, but I'm curious what the school system will look like, or if they're just going to continue to do what the protocol is, which is shut down a room because you're not mixing with other people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
I don't
Alana.
know.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi. And do you know, we were just talking about COVID. Do you know the cases in Napa yesterday or today?
No, I don't. Yeah, last thing I heard was for American Canyon, we're at 118.
Somebody had a big party.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Alana, before the meeting, can I ask you, do you know if it's raining tomorrow, if the classes like water aerobics are going to be held?
Yeah, water aerobics would be held rain or shine. The only reason they would cancel would actually be because of thunder and lightning.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to download my reports because I was trying to set up in my office with my laptop, and for some reason it wouldn't turn on, so I had to kick my brother out for his. So I'm trying to download all my reports.
How long's it been since Halloween? Is it 2 weeks or 3 now?
Been 2?
Been 2.
Hmm.
Oh, it'll be 2 this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, we're only in 12. Yep. I don't think Thanksgiving would have the same after effects as Halloween, potentially.
I don't know though, because they say the very worst, or what I read, besides restaurants, the very worst are home gatherings, and not even that big. So it depends. I guess it depends what people pay attention to for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's hard. I feel like after Christmas that they should have us do, after Christmas and New Year's, they should have us not come back to the classroom for 2 weeks after New Year's and just do Zoom meetings.
Yeah, that seems like that'd be smart.
I don't think they are, but
Do they
Sherry,
have the power to change that?
say that again.
Do they have the power to change that if, the numbers keep rising? Would they be able to,
I don't know. I was asking today if no one seems to know. I don't think that's been they may be starting to discuss it, but I don't really know. I heard Justin Sienna shut down, but they were, I think, full back, like not modified numbers or size. My neighbor's kids go to one of the Catholic elementary schools in Napa, and he said it's the full class. Like it's not like how we are, not more than 16 in a room. And it depends, what's going on, but and we have the minimal amount of time with time to clean in between the groups, but we don't have 2 groups coming on the same day anyway. But he said, nope, they're there all day. A whole lot of them. Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Hi, Karina.
There she is. Oh, Coco.
Did you just get a burst of sunshine, Alana? Because
I know.
Sorry, yeah, no, I realize I'm really dark, so when I'm usually on the Zoom in here, I have to like add my extra light, and it starts off really bright, and then you can.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
okay, we have about a minute, and then I'm going to start the Zoom recording. I think the transmission will start exactly at 6:30.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a new computer and I can't find the backgrounds on this thing, so I might not have a proper background.
Did you want me to send it to you?
I have it.
Oh, okay.
I can't add it to it.
Is it on the computer saved, the photo?
I guess. Okay, wait. Trying to do it as fast as I can.
I liked your other background, Creighton, better. Looks like a better place to be. Oh dear.
Out. Okay. Out, Coco, out. There we go.
There you go.
I just can't move.
You're fine though, you have it.
I guess the chat says we're ready to go.
Yep. So mute our microphones and start. All right. So we'll call this meeting of the Parks and Community Service Commission to order at 6:32. We go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have roll call.
Chair Margolotti,
Here.
Commissioner Einberger,
Here?
Commissioner Cervente,
Here.
Commissioner Mamarel.
Here.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment tonight?
I do not, Chair.
Okay. All right, so we can go ahead and move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Manuel?
Well, I guess a friendly reminder of the food drive that's happening this upcoming Saturday. I believe it's 10 to 1 over at the Aquatics Center. Also, another friendly reminder that the ACCPF coffee event has been canceled. It was a social event mostly, but canceled because of the rising number of COVID cases in Napa County. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Einberger?
Yeah, I just have a few Seroptimus things. Bingo is next Thursday and also December 17th. Music with Clarence is December 3rd. We had a great session last week, so thank you, Clarence. We are having an online auction, so people can watch for that. It opens on Monday. And then the last thing, well, no, a couple things. I can't remember whether I said last time that we gave out 127 goodie bags for the fall, and we'll do that same number, excuse me, at the beginning of December. We did get a grant from ACCPF to help out with that, which was great. And then the last thing, starting tomorrow, actually, we're going to, with the lodge at Glen Cove, we're going to do an Adopt a Senior, so people will be able to buy a gift card, basically a $25 gift card, which will go towards seniors who are really isolated and in need. So you look for that on Facebook. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
Hi, yeah. It's been a really busy month. Just a quick rundown of all the amazing drive-throughs that we have had in the city, from Halloween to the Arts Foundation, Kids for the Troops, and holidays. And so thank you for doing all that. It's been fun going to all of those events. And also there's going to be a virtual State of the District. It's going to be Thursday, November 19th at 6:30 p.m. and hosted by the Napa Valley Unified School District. And you can go to their website to get the Zoom, the webinar details, so you can be part of it. It's going to be interesting what they updates they have for us. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Other than saying that I've been out and checked out the new equipment out at the wetlands and investigated all the pieces, and I loved how easy they looked to use with the directions, or there's the QR code, which I didn't try the QR code, but we kind of sat and investigated each piece, and it looks really amazing, and I think it'll be a wonderful asset to our community to be able to use and get outside and work out, especially right now when there's limited places to do so. So it's wonderful to see that in. And that's all for now for me. Are there any agenda changes or need for agenda changes? No? Okay. So we can go ahead and move on to our first item of business, B1, receive a report concluding the music subcommittee.
And Chair, I'll just do a quick introduction to Alana, our recreation supervisor, who's been leading this project. It was identified as a goal last year from PCS to review and evaluate opportunities for live performances and specifically music in our community events. And Alana led a group kind of evaluating that along with the American Canyon Arts Foundation. So without any further ado, turn over to Alana.
Perfect. Thank you, Creighton. So that group that met, we didn't meet that often. We only met 3 times when I look back at it. But this group was able to get through pretty much its whole purpose in those short 3 meetings. So we were able to come together and create a musician survey to determine with our local musicians what their needs were. We also ended up creating a survey for our venue or organizations that, held events and whatnot, for opportunities and to kind of hear what they wanted. So after we gave that survey out to kind of both groups, we determined that creating more musical offerings and opportunities was not needed. So instead, what came out of both surveys was the importance of connecting the two together. So local musicians felt that they needed more of a connection with people that were holding events or businesses that hosted musical events, and then kind of vice versa. Our venue list or organizations and whatnot didn't really have a list to go to for if they needed musicians or live music. So that's what came out of that survey. We then were working with our Arts Foundation, because another thing that came out of the survey, for at least for working with the city and all of the events that we used to host, is the insurance. So we require kind of a long process. I'm sure Commissioner Memro can speak to this, but the process is quite long in trying to secure musicians for the city, where we provide insurance. And the Arts Foundation, we do have an agreement with them in insurance. So what they wanted to do was kind of create a new branch in the American Canyon Arts Foundation for music, and any local musician that wanted to join under them, their insurance would be covered. Therefore, when we go to have events and whatnot, it's easier for them to join. So that was something that we talked with them about. They ended up taking the musician list and having that conversation. Even though that's just city insurance requirements, that's pretty much true with a lot of the businesses and some organizations that help events. So the American Canyon Arts Foundation was able to take that list of musicians, talk with them, and pretty much ease insurance requirements if they were interested in joining under them. So in February, right before the pandemic hit, the subcommittee agreed that this was pretty much the farthest that the subcommittee needed to go in getting the results of the survey. And then we had planned to kind of do a wrap-up meeting in April to where we're sharing both lists together. And then again, the pandemic hit, and there was no anything. So what we've been doing since then is Sir Optimus has had the Facebook Live music events, which have been really fun. That's been live music over Zoom. And then we've also, at several of our drive-through events and other organization events, they've been having some live music perform as well. So that's kind of what we've been doing during COVID-19. The next steps are that the city is going to be reaching back out to that vendor list, seeing if anyone is interested, following the protocols and the guidance from the county, the current guidance of whatever that looks like, if anyone is interested in playing. And then also on the other end, reaching out to that vendor list, which is with the Community Events Committee, and seeing if there's any opportunities very similar to the drive-through events that have been happening, like the pumpkin pickup and the Veterans Day and ACCPF's Park and Play. So really just kind of connecting the two again. And then what we'll be doing from there on, reaching back out to the Arts Foundation to see if they have any musicians that wanted to go through that process again and kind of just touching base. So at this time, that's where we are concluding with this subcommittee. Again, it was determined that there is no further need for the subcommittee to meet because we kind of got the end product of these two lists and to just share them with each other. So opportunity meets actual musicians. Are there any questions?
We can go ahead and open up for commissioner questions. Commissioner Mammrell, do you have any questions about the report?
No questions. It's a very thorough report. I guess I can give a little more information about things that have happened since our last meeting. And the big one is that our relationship with the American Canyon Arts Foundation is much stronger in terms of their being able to provide insurance for the musicians. And we are going to well, I'm on the Arts Foundation board now, so that wouldn't have happened without this subcommittee, frankly. So having that direct connection with them, makes sure that the musicians are like represented more in the Arts Foundation. And we are going to do a membership drive that includes reaching out, using the musicians list that Alana mentioned, reaching out to them for reaching out to our local musicians, especially the ones on the list, for to convince them to join the Arts Foundation because of the big because of the advantage of having insurance, that it makes them more hireable for gigs in town. So, and I guess the other thing is, we have been, it's been great sprinkling live music in the events as we can. Alana mentioned that the local, the live music opportunities dried up because of COVID, and that's in American Canyon and Napa County and just all over the place. But when vendors are ready to hire musicians, then we have an infrastructure here that we worked on to do more live music. So the work continues, but it has been nice to sprinkle the music into our events, and I'm very happy to do that. But I also, kind of seems a little bit self-serving for me to do this stuff. So I definitely want to reach out to more folks, more musicians, so that everybody gets a variety of music out there, and we highlight our local talent. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Einberger, any questions about the report?
No, but I would just say, I don't think it's self-serving, Clarence. I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful because you volunteer so much, and it's your music is a great addition to the city and our events. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
I thank you to, Clarence and everybody that worked with this in this item. No comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any questions either. I think it sounds wonderful, and I love how the Arts Foundation is helping the different groups by being able to provide insurance if they become members. I think that's really great. Is there any public comment on this business item?
No, Chair, there is not.
All right. So thank you. I think we're ready to move on then to department reports. Okay. First one is C1, receive a brief status update on parks and recreation customer service.
And Chair, I'll turn it over to Cherry to give the report.
Okay, can everyone see my report?
Yep.
Okay. So, community garden. So our 2020 gardening season has ended. So officially right now it's called our winter season. So anyone that is still interested in gardening throughout the winter, it is their responsibility to keep their plots up until the next renewal time, which will be February 2021. Shalon and I are currently working with some current gardeners that have volunteered our project that's happening at the garden. We are still in the early stages planning for a spring 2021 garden. Our scholarship report, we had a total of 5 scholarships for the fall 2020 quarter that opened in August. We are currently accepting applications for the upcoming winter 2020 season that begins with December programming. For our facility rentals, we are still not offering facility rentals due to COVID-19 Napa County guidelines. So we are still working with people in the community and putting them on a wait list and just putting the request down and letting them know and keeping them updated as far as what facilities information comes up. Park reservations, we are now looking and working with organized sport groups, but they do have to go through the return to play protocol in order to be considered for our park facility rentals. Did anyone have any questions about park or facility rental before we move on?
Commissioner Mamerle, any questions?
Yeah, hello. No questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Einberger?
No questions.
Commissioner Cervente?
Yes, I do. Is this so far for what your report or just the facility rentals?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Are these questions are so far for your report or just the facility rentals?
Just the facility or anything so far.
Okay, so I do have a question about the item on the scholarships.
Okay.
Are the scholarship applications and instructions in Spanish on the website?
I believe they are. So the links for them are available on our website.
Because I went there and I couldn't find it. Is there a special way to find these leads, or
I can
they have them in Spanish because I had them a hard copy, but
yeah, I can definitely go on the website and go back and look for them, and I can get that to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's really important to
Absolutely
have them, in Spanish, and if they're not, I will request for a follow-up. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then moving on for our program registrations, we are still taking registrations on a rolling monthly basis. The fall 2020 guide season that included all programs for the month of October has closed. We had 360 plus participants participate in our aquatics and recreation programs for the month of October. Fall 3 for our November classes has opened up, and for the opening week, there is a combined total of 267 participants that have signed up for classes. Our registration for December programs will open on Wednesday, November 18th at 8:30 for residents. That is all I have for updates. Any other questions?
Commissioner Mamerle, any other questions on this report?
No questions. It's very complete. Thank you.
Commissioner Einberger?
No. Thank you, though. No questions.
Commissioner Cervente?
Great work. I know I've signed up for tennis and for badminton, and everything is being really smooth. The lessons have been great. Just wonderful to see, slowly but surely having all that, some of the rec programs back. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I have a question, Director Wright. The last time we met, you were maybe going to be getting some direction on the basketball courts reopening or getting the hoops back up. Did you learn anything new about that?
Yes, and I will be sharing it with a resident who's been asking me. Well, you know what? Can we tackle that under the director's report, maybe?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
And I meant to say at the beginning, by the way, I liked the newsletter that came out, the new newsletter. That didn't get brought up, so that's a great addition. All right, thank you. So we'll move on to item C2, receive a report on aquatics programs.
That is on me tonight, as Jody's not going to be joining us. So let me share that. And so pretty short, sweet, and to the point report for aquatics. Been working on developing a winter plan for the pool, and we are going to remain open through the middle part of December is what we've decided on, although we won't be offering swim lessons. We'll be keeping with our solid staples of water aerobics, lap swim, and then the swim team opportunity in the pool. He's wrapping up the fall season, and we'll be doing a fall debrief at our probably our January meeting is what we're looking at, combining both our winter programming and fall programming to do a little bit more in-depth overview. Keep going through our monthly development of program opportunities, working on staff training, starting to winterize the pool and put a lot of our summer gear and activities away. Consider that to be winterizing. And ACMS, continuing conversation to find out what ACMS's plans are for spring. We normally start middle school swim lessons in March, and so we start having that conversation now in December and hopefully have it wrapped up with a pretty solid plan by January. So that's what Joey's going to be working on, and he's going to be reinvigorating the fee philosophy discussion. For the most part, the stuff that we're offering right now was kind of settled through the budget and making it effectively cost neutral. We're going to be going back and memorializing that and having some other conversations really around memorializing what we've settled on for direct versus indirect costs. Jody is the project manager on the fee philosophy, so he'll get that rolling again in the next 30 days or so. So I think that's it for aquatics at this point.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe I'll just add one last thing. We continue to have strong participation in our water aerobics class. This summer, the participation was so good that we ended up offering 2 sessions during the day, and we were a little unsure that we'd get enough interest to keep it going through the winter, and so far we are. We're kind of testing it out for November to see if it holds, the interest holds for December. So good news so far.
Thank you. Any commissioner questions about aquatics programs? Commissioner Mamrell?
Yeah, just one. So the fee philosophy subcommittee, I assume that'll remain the same, and Jody will just reach out to us regarding future meetings, yeah?
Yes, Commissioner Mamrell, that is absolutely correct. We're planning on continuing to use the group, although our finance rep is no longer with the city, so we'll have to figure out someone to replace her. But otherwise, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, no more questions for me.
Commissioner Einberger, any questions about the aquatic program report?
No, I was just going to ask the same thing about that committee, so that's good.
Commissioner Cervante?
Yeah, same question. I'm after hearing Commissioner Mamorous. Am I wrong to assume that you guys already met? Because I'm in that committee supposedly, and I never met with anyone.
We met one time right before the pandemic set in February, in which I don't recall the reason why you couldn't meet, but I remember Jody saying that he had reached out to you and he talked individually about the topic.
Okay. So am I in that committee still?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Just want to be sure that I'm on the loop. Thank you.
Yep.
Great. I do not have any questions. So we can go ahead and move on to the next report. Item C3, receive a report on recent and upcoming recreation programs and events.
And Alana will take this one. Alana, take it away.
Thank you. Let's see. Sorry, Creighton. I think I just kicked you out.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so this one's kind of long. So I'll break it up into sections. So recently, a lot of the stuff that we've been maintaining to do that you guys have heard in the last PCS meetings, those are still happening. So we still have our senior activity packets. In October, we switched to monthly. So we're continuing to do that. We put out a November one. Our senior center virtual programming, that's still ongoing. We have Forever Young, yoga, Stitchers, that's on Zoom, and then Collaborate Care is about to start their new 8-week mental health class. That's going to be virtually. Serotimus events. The next one is bingo, so this is past. So October bingo, they had 28 participants. Which that was a really fun night, seeing everyone there. And then the music, I believe we've been pretty steady with 14 from the last event that we just had. Food distributions is still happening. We have one pretty much every week. We have the first and third Thursdays, which is with Kiwanis and Catholic Charities. The second and fourth Tuesday is Harvest Baptist Church, but out of the aquatics parking lot. And then this one coming up is going to be USDA's third Thursday, which is next week. They're joining with Kiwanis and Catholic Charity. Return to play has pretty much been the same. We are constantly in touch with organizations and going through if they are interested in coming back and reserving the parks. We're working with them to make sure that they're abiding by the current Napa County guidelines. The group that we are currently working with as of right now is the American Canyon Youth Football. They're looking to start, this is all if we don't go to purple as a county, but they're looking to start at the end of November. In-person programming, very similar to Return to Play. We are working with our instructors to make sure that they're abiding by all Napa County COVID-19 guidelines. We send all of our classes out to the county. So for October, we kind of worked with the American Canyon Arts Foundation and Kiwanis to help with the pumpkin path. So it was kind of two-pronged. They had their pumpkin pickup where they had pumpkins and paint where people can come through and collect free pumpkins and paint, and then had some instructions and tips on there on how to paint a pumpkin and then to leave it out at the wetlands. So then the other two piece to that is we had pumpkin path out at the wetlands With one, anyone that came and got that free pumpkin, we encouraged them to leave a pumpkin there, painted. But two, we also encourage anyone to do that. So anyone that came out and saw the pumpkin path at Wetlands, there's a sign there that said, you know, grab a pumpkin, paint it, and then leave it here. And we hit 100 pumpkins, which was really cool. It was something that I was really proud about because it's walking out there, it was just a public art display and just community, and some of them are really cool, and then you had, you know, some little kid ones that were very cute, and it was just cool to see people out there enjoying it as they went out to the trail. And then we had a Trick or Treat Street. So this was the day before Halloween. We hosted the safe and fun way to kind of keep trick-or-treating alive. We had various organizations come out, which we wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So I thank them for that. They came out, they decorated a booth, and then they gave out candy and some treats. And then cars came through, stopped at each station, and then were on their way. Cars wise, we had about 340, I think was our kind of final range. And each car roughly had like 3 kids in it. So a lot of people that we served that night. Costume contest. We did a costume contest on our Facebook page. And oh, I don't think I have the numbers for that, but I think there was about 30 entries for that one. We had, our families, we had young kids, a lot of young kids. We didn't really have any seniors. And then we had a couple of pets that participated. So that was a lot of fun to see that. And then the Napa Bike Coalition, they did host their family bike workshop this past weekend. And then Veterans Day we just had yesterday. So this was a partnership with the American Cannon Troop Support and the VFW were out there, and the Arts Foundation, and then Commissioner Mamarel was out there as well. This event went really well for our troop support. They actually had a truck full of donations that we're going to be able to, they're going to be able to take and create care packages. So that's really great there. I think cars wise, we had, I think it was just under 40 cars come through, but it was great. We had we had a military vehicle on display, fire protection district was out there. So it was a lot of fun for people that came through to donate and really celebrate our veterans. So I'm going to stop there because again, this report is pretty long. So I'll stop there if you guys have any questions or comments for the recent events and programs.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Mamarel, any questions or comments on those 2 areas, recent programs?
Yeah, regarding food distribution, you know, I know that we talked in Kiwanis that the winter months are coming, and there's going to be more need for food distribution. So Alana, I was hoping you'd be able to give a little more information about the USDA's participation, in particular about how, you know, hopefully there will be extra food through that partnership in the winter months when they're really needed.
Yeah, so the USDA, so they're not eliminating their distribution on the 3rd Thursday. They're just combining. So they're just pretty much sending all of the food and they're bringing it to the Kiwanis and Catholic Charities distribution. So before they're getting together, one was at the Benson parking lot at 4:30. The other one was at Holy Family Church at 3:30 to 5:30. So instead of trying to compete, we're actually seeing a lot of people not attend the USDA. So instead, they're actually still bringing all of that food to the Kiwanis and Catholic Charities and just combining it. So we're not losing any food in that transition.
Great. Okay. No, thank you for that clarification. That's good. Very good to hear. Especially since, you know, it's kind of my understanding that the food distribution has gone on for quite a while, and it's still necessary. And I think there's I think a concern about food running out, and and the program continuing. But I'm glad it's moving on. Another comment about the Trick or Treat Street. I just can't emphasize how fun that was, and what a great morale booster for the community. I know the comments that I saw on social media were very positive, and it was great to be able to give the kids and their families something to do in this time. So just how great that event was can't be understated. And I suppose if a year from now we'll take a look at whether that's going to be repeated or not. Yeah. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Einberger. Any comments or questions on the recent events?
Yeah, I would just like to commend city staff. It's pretty remarkable, I think, all the things that are going on in the midst of COVID. The pumpkin path, I mean, that was great, walking out there and seeing a new pumpkin every time I went for a walk. That was fun. And the trick or treat, just like Commissioner Mammerl said, I got so many comments that it was just a phenomenal event, and they hope that the city does it every year. Excuse me. And then yesterday with the Veterans Day, that was just really good. It's important for me to celebrate in some way on Veterans Day, as my father was a veteran. So it was really nice. So good job on that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
Yeah, thank you so much for all the fun stuff so far. I had a question and a comment, so I'll go with my comment first. I was on the phone with one of the parents at ACMS, and this parent mentioned that if the Meals on Wheels were still going on at the senior center, and I said, yeah, but the thing I was telling this parent is how Alana is delivering 20 boxes or non-perishable food to 20 seniors, and this parent didn't even know about it. So I guess it will be nice to highlight all the awesome stuff you guys are doing on social media or something. I think you deserve the accolades. So, and also to inform the community that, this group of people here in this Zoom, we know what's going on, but there's still a lot of people out there that, for whatever reason, don't know about all the awesome stuff you're doing. So I think that, you should just every now and then put us, little droplets of information on all the awesome stuff you're doing. My question is the first Friday of the month at Holy Family food distribution still going on, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I don't see it here. But okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. My only comment would be, I think what you guys have done is amazing, and the other community groups have come together, and I bet that there's a place for some of these things in the future, and it'd be great to see it. And I'm sure there might be seniors who may not be able to come out that would appreciate continuing doing some virtual events to have contact with others. And some of the Halloween things were really fun too. So thank you so much. So I guess we're ready to move on to the rest of the report with the upcoming events.
Chair, can I make just a couple quick comments?
Yeah.
In regard to some of the comments that the commissioners made. So I want to just touch on the trick or treat event for just a moment and go back into the context and why it was offered. So we're in a role right now as a department, as a city really, to try to identify needs in the community and try and figure out how to fill those. So one of those that was very clear was given the pandemic and the virus and guidance from CDC in the state and the county was just advising against having kids go out trick-or-treating. So Alana and her team kind of put their heads together and tried to figure out how can we put together a safe opportunity for kids to still get a taste of what trick-or-treating is all about. So that's how Trick or Treat Street came to be. In a normal year, we don't do a Halloween event for a very good reason, and that is every one of the elementary schools has either a Harvest Fest or a Halloween event or something all in the month of October, that it just doesn't make sense for us to do it. So we're certainly in the future open to this great partnership and bringing groups together and having something like this, but the fact of the matter is, for most of those elementary schools, it's one of, if not their greatest fundraising opportunity for their PTA, PTO. So we don't want to distract or pull away from that as an opportunity in quote unquote normal years. But we will continue as a collaborator, facilitator, and just generally identifying needs and trying to figure out how to fill them. And if that means that we do it again, Trick or Treat Street Part 2, then great, we do that. So I just wanted to remind you guys about some of the context around there. And at this point in my mind, I'm really hoping that we're not dealing with pandemic a year from now and we're back to normal and we can get back to, PTA, PTOs doing their Harvest Festival, and that's not a role that we need to necessarily fill. So that's the first item. The second one, just to get to Commissioner Cervantes' comment about food distributions, just to clarify. So Meals on Wheels is still happening. The difference is that the county is delivering those meals to those seniors that are on that program. There is a separate program that the city is working with one of our community resource groups in which we deliver food, non-perishables and sometimes perishables. It all kind of depends on what we have available to us from the food distributions, to homebound families that don't qualify for any other program. And it is strictly a referral basis. So it's not advertised, it's not published, because we get the referrals from community resource organizations in town or in the county, and then we make connection and then distribute the food to them. So I just wanted to make that a point. It's not something we advertise on purpose, because we're not the ones that are we distribute the food, but we don't manage the need, I guess is the best way of saying it. So those are just 2 points of clarification I wanted to make.
Thank you.
And so I think with that, Alana, you want to move on to upcoming?
Yeah. Okay. So upcoming, our senior center virtual programming, we are, again, still kind of chugging along with all of the stuff that we've been offering. But we have created that 8-week mental health class with Collaborative Care that's about to start. I believe it starts this week, if I'm not mistaken. And then we are also looking at future bringing back our sign language class. They've decided to start again and go virtual for December. So that should be really interesting to get that group back. In-person programming. So we just recently added badminton and yoga. But in December 4th, we're going to be adding, working with the Napa Bike Coalition, adding a teen bike ride meetup. So that'll be December 4th at 4:30, where it's free for teens to go on a bike ride. They just need to pre-register with a waiver, and that'll be up on our website here soon. Virtual programming. I just want to kind of put focus on our Yoga with Jenna, our yoga class. It's both teen and adult, which I think as of right now, we kind of have all adult participants, which is great. But I know teens don't really, I don't know if they think about yoga, but it is offered to them as well. So just kind of want to highlight that, see if we can get some more teen participation there. ACCPF Park and Play, they have one coming up on the 21st. It's a Saturday at Shenandoah from 11 to 1. So they will be out there. They switched their Park and Plays to monthly. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And then for November, our food drive. So as Commissioner Memorial mentioned, that food, especially in the winter months and with holidays, is a huge demand, and we are trying to pretty much restock our American Can Emergency Food Pantry. So we are asking people to donate. Normally they have a food drive that is throughout the schools. It's a canned food drive and kind of everywhere, but that's not necessarily the case this year. So instead, we're helping them with doing this food drive. So it's with Boy Scouts, Kiwanis, Key Club, ACHS, Link Crew, and then again, the American Canyon Emergency Food Pantry. So this is this Saturday from 11 to 2. And that'll be at our Benton, our aquatics parking lot. Community cookbook. So this is something that we started for November. It's new. We are looking to create a community cookbook. So we're asking residents to submit their recipes to be able to share with one another. So the idea is that we get recipes from everyone, and then once we start getting enough to be able to put it out, we'll put it back out on our website, so then people can, one, submit recipes, but then two, look at other people in the community recipes and try them out. So that one, I'm really interested to get that one going and seeing some recipes out there. We also are doing a Thankful Caterpillar. So at our Kindness Rock Garden, we have switched over to doing kind of a prompt every month for the Kindness Rock Garden. And this month is the Thankful Caterpillar. So we are going to be very similar to the pumpkin path at Wetlands, kind of asking the community to paint a rock, have it be positive words, or they can paint something that they're thankful for, and then kind of grow this caterpillar by leaving that rock there. And that's at our Kindness Rock Garden. That's at Elliott Park. And then I guess I'll stop there before I go into December.
Are there any commissioner questions, comments about upcoming events through November? Commissioner Mamoral?
No questions for me. It all looks good. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Einberger?
Ditto. Looks good.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it all looks good too. You can continue to December.
Okay. So December, so what's in your guys' report is actually changed slightly. So for our community tree lighting, we're actually going to be doing a video. So we are going to be with other city, so city council and city employees. We're pretty much going to be creating a happy holidays city video as kind of a send off and a kickoff to the holidays. So that has changed from what is in the report. We aren't going to be asking residents to submit photos at the community tree. It just time-wise, it didn't make sense because we do want to release this back out. So that is what's going to be coming, a really cool video kicking off the holiday season from the city. And then we have our snowman sightings. So starting December 1st, we are going to be putting out a riddle on our Facebook page as a hint to be able to find snowmen. So we'll have 2 hints that go out December 1st to be able to find 2 different snowmen. And then on the snowmen will be a QR code that anyone can scan and enter their information, and then they get entered into raffle prizes. a raffle for prizes. So that's something we're doing December 1st, and then we're also going to be doing it December 8th. So we'll have 4 snowmen to find within the first 2 weeks of December. Next is I Spy. So the theme for December is find the magic of the season. So with it being a very difficult year with the pandemic and everything else going on, we're having to really find the magic this year, finding your holiday spirit. So that was kind of the focus with all of these events. So the next one is our I Spy. This is our annual I Spy that we always do. As of right now, we are looking to have this one in person. So this is going to be December 15th, 16th, and 17th. We have different nights where families can compete against each other. They sign up, they come to the location. We give them kind of a brief overview of what the rules are, and then we give them a list of riddles and clues that they need to solve. And then they go out and look for those items, and then they come back, and then we score the sheets, and then we award our winners, and we give out holiday gift baskets. So that event is always a really fun one. So that's kind of our big in-person event that we're going to be hosting for the holidays. Ugly sweater contest. So we are going to be doing an ugly sweater contest up on our Facebook page, very similar to our costume contest that we just did for Halloween. So that's going to be all month long, and then we'll award the winners in the new year when we're back. And then a holiday home decor list. So this year, we are asking anyone that has put in the hard work to decorate their homes to let us know and to get added onto our list. And then that list will be provided back on our website for the community to see what we're all doing or what they've all done. Anyone that signs up is given a gift basket, a swag bag from our American Canyon Orthodontics, just as a thank you for really inspiring fun and helping with the holidays. So that's going to be something up on our website. Like I said, the Kindness Rock Garden, each month we have switched over to where we are going to be doing a prompt. This one is Snow Village. So we are asking people to paint themselves as a snowman and leave it inside of the Kindness Rock Garden. And then we kind of just want to watch how that little village grows with the diversity that we have in American Canyon into snowmen. And then finally, on our webpage, we have been, for the last couple of months, we've been doing a lot of webpage content where it's a lot of, creating fun at home. So this for December is going to be creating magic at home, having online resources for certain activities, just information, guidance, and some of our partnership things that are happening. So that is December.
All right. Any commissioner comments or questions on the December report? Commissioner Mamrell?
Yeah, just a quick one on the I Spy a Snowflake scavenger hunt. Is there a registration fee for the teams?
No, that is a great question. So this event is free, but pre-registration is required. That way you can get the location and we have your information and team name.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Einberger?
Oh, looks like a fun month. So
thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
It looks like December is the month to be at here in AC. Looks awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the ideas with the rock garden. I think that's fun. It brings new life and involves the family and kids. So I like that. Thank you. So if we're finished with that item, ready to move on to our next report, item C4, receive a brief status update on the Community Events Committee activities.
And Chair, I'm just going to leave this with Alana. The next couple items are all reports that she's going to be providing, so it might be good to just run one to the next.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, sorry, Chair, you said Community Events Committee is the next report.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Community Events Committee, we just recently met October 21st. So in this meeting, we've determined that with COVID and kind of how we are operating as a city, we're operating kind of monthly. So we've decided that this group is going to continue to meet monthly, just to keep each other updated as to what's going on, because, you know, with COVID, everything keeps changing. So we have switched to where we are now meeting monthly. This group, we just shared kind of what we're doing as the city, and then hearing from what they're interested or what they are doing. There's a lot of fundraising things coming up. One thing that also came out of this meeting is the parking lot. The Philip West Aquatic Center parking lot is in huge demand right now, because right now kind of the only events you can really have are drive-through. So we have created a new reservation process. It's pretty much a link that you would get from us, and then you'd be able to fill out your reservation form, and then that gets taken to Creighton for approval, making sure if there's anything that you need on there or it doesn't make sense, and then we give that back out and turn it into an encroachment permit that gets sent out to our police, streets, fire, to let everyone know what's going on in that parking lot. Requests all must be filled out 30 days prior to the event date, so we are able to go through that whole process. So that was kind of the biggest update, I'd say, came out of the Community Events Committee. And then our next meeting is set for next week to talk through what everyone's thinking for their December events. And then I will move over to the next one.
Do we want to stop in case there's any questions or comments on that one?
Creighton, it's up to you.
Yeah, sure. Real quick.
I don't know if there would be any, but are there any commissioner questions or comments on that item? Commissioner Mamrell?
No questions. Just a good call on the parking lot reservation process.
Commissioner Einberger?
Well, just that I'm glad that committee exists, because it's great to find out what's going on with everyone.
Thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
No comments, thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any either, so you can go ahead and continue to item C5 for the senior subcommittee.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so our senior subcommittee. So this is very similar to our music subcommittee, where we were doing great. We were chugging along with the purpose of the group, and the purpose was to kind of reevaluate the programming mix and what how we're relevant to our seniors and what they need for American Canyon. So like I said, we were making great strides in programming and reevaluating and pushing forward with socialization for our seniors, because it's always been an issue. And then COVID hit, which definitely put a halt on everything. Our senior center did have to close, and it's still currently closed. And then we had to convert a lot of what we were doing to virtual, and provide resources out to seniors. We've assisted with our senior deliveries and meals. And then Seroptimus has stepped up in a huge way to help us out. We lost a lot of or pretty much most of our staffing for our senior center, and we were doing wellness calls, and Seroptimus really stepped in and helped us do that. So they've been doing wellness calls. They have created their bingo nights. They've created their live music, and it's geared towards seniors, but open to anybody. And honestly, if you participate in the bingo or the music, you see these seniors light up just for having conversations and being a part of something. So that's really great that they've stepped in that role for us. We continue to follow the Napa County guidelines for programming and events. The only in-person event that we currently offer that's geared towards seniors is our line dancing. So that is in person, again, following all the distancing, except for aquatics, water aerobics, that's another one. So we do follow all of the county guidelines there. So back to the committee. Like I said, it was pretty much put on hold, and then recent budget cuts pretty much eliminated most of our committee, having it be senior center staff members. So we wanted to reevaluate and kind of come back as a group, because there's been so much change, but also there's a lot more opportunities in groups that we've been working with closely that we need to start to determine what that new steps are for the senior center. So the next meeting we actually have scheduled for next Tuesday at 4 for that subcommittee. Emails went out, I believe, last week. And we've actually added a bunch of people into this subcommittee. So before, we worked with a lot of groups, but I would say the one positive thing that's come out of this pandemic is we've become a lot closer with a lot of the organizations for our senior stakeholders. So in that, we've actually been talking with a lot of them, and they're going to be joining our senior subcommittee to provide their feedback and input so we can grow not only at our senior center, which currently is closed, but Valley View and Las Casitas and all of these organizations. So this is the list that we have along with city staff, and then PCS commissioners. We have Napa County Health Department, Sir Optimus President, Innovation Health Solutions, Valley View, Las Casitas. We actually added 2 contracted instructors just to get their input, and then our contact with CollaboraCare, which is our information and resource person. So all of that would be creating that new group for our senior subcommittee.
Thank you. Commissioner Mammrel, any questions or comments on the senior subcommittee report?
Nope, no questions. Looks good.
Thank you. Commissioner Einberger?
No questions, but I'm super excited to get this started again, and with the new members. I think it looks great.
Thank you. Commissioner Servente?
Great work all around, and big thanks to Sir Optimus for stepping up and doing all those wonderful things. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks good. I'm excited to join and be a part of it. And I guess our meeting is next Tuesday. I saw on an email, so we have a date. Alrighty. So if there's no further questions or comments, we can go ahead and move on to item C6. Receive a brief status update on park-related projects and the volunteer program.
And Chair, I'll turn this over to Shilon to provide the update.
Wonderful. Can everyone see my screen? Lovely. Okay. We will get started on the volunteer policy program update. So as you guys all know, Creighton, Jen, Maria, and I have been working to complete the update of the city's volunteer policy and implementing it as the official program. So we're almost there. We're just heading into the final stage of approvals now that we've finished developing the actual policy document. And I am still working on managing the integration of Service as our new city's platform for recruitment of volunteers. And so far it's going very smooth. We're learning all the functions of this new tool, and it's really going to benefit us for engaging our volunteers, maintaining all of our records, as well as offering more frequent touch points to keep them engaged. So we're really excited about Service, and we will continue using it for all of our volunteer programs and projects. So going into the River to Ridge Conservation Program, we have a few projects to report on. The Bay Area Ridge Trail project was completed this last weekend on Saturday, and we focused on Newell Trail Erosion project. So essentially, we built a rolling dip feature on the Valley Trail at Newell Open Space, and we had 6 volunteers participate. The volunteers worked together to install this rolling dip feature that helps with reducing erosion and sedimentation into the creek at the Valley Trail. And if you head out to Newell, you'll be able to see it a little bit past the barn is where the site is. It's just essentially kind of like a roll and then a dip on the trail, kind of like how it sounds. So it's pretty great, and we're excited to do more volunteer projects that would be installing rolling dip features as well. So the next project that we have is going to be a partnership project with the Napa County Resource Conservation District, and we are going to be doing a tree planting for acorns at the Newell Open Space Preserve. The project is slated for December 12th. At the time when I wrote this report, our capacity was going to be 15 people, but we're actually going to reduce it down to 2 groups of 8 that are separated. So that way we can have a project that's safer for COVID regulation and still have the acorn plantings be a successful project for everyone. So we are going to be doing that. And we will also be posting this project shortly on Service as soon as we have everything in place. So we already have 2 sites that we're going to be doing this planting event, and we're hoping to get a high success rate with planting success. And then the third project that we have is another partnership project with ACCPF. We're going to be doing a landscaping project at Wetlands Edge. And this project is going to focus on planting native species in the area that's surrounding the concrete pads. So this is going to bring some life back to that area. We're going to be doing a lot of beautiful native species, preferably drought tolerant species as well. So we're going to be putting together a plan shortly, and the project is actually slated to take place on January 23rd. So we will be doing that, and it'll most likely also be a group of 8 to 10 volunteers as well to keep that number low, but still have some volunteer engagement to make sure the project gets done. So we're looking forward to these 2 upcoming projects. And we'll probably be adding a couple more in this list as well in the next month or 2, and have them all on Service, which can be found on the city's website for any residents or non-residents that would like to participate in our volunteer projects. So moving on to Prop 68 grant funding and the short-term plan. So as you guys know, the city's allocation is $177,952, which will be utilized to replace 3 playgrounds at Northampton Park, Palm One, and Little League. So we are working towards completing the resolution and staff report so that it can go to City Council for December 1st. And then after that, we'll be pushing the application for the deadline, which has actually now been extended to mid-December. So initially it was June 30th, but they've given extra time due to circumstances that we're dealing with now, and so that causes some delay. So they've given us more time, which is great. So that is Prop 68 grant funding for that project. Moving down the list, we've got grazing management plan. So Creighton and I have been working with Jasmine from the Solano Land Trust to work collaboratively on building together a joint grazing management plan that would oversee Lynch Canyon and Newell Open Space Preserve. We've been working on this for a couple of years now, so we're starting to see the fruits of our labor with putting together our contract for the Azevedos. So we're going to be providing that to them shortly so that they can provide us with their feedback. And then we'll get them under contract hopefully before the new year. So just another month or so, we're hoping to get that wrapped up. That being said, we're also considering implementing the possibility of sheep grazing in the lower Newell area that is restricted to cattle. So I've been working or chatting with a few sheep grazers over the last few weeks and just learning more about their operations and seeing if it's the right fit for Newell Open Space. So I have made contact with the Napa Land Trust, and they're excited about the idea. They want to chat with us more about it. And they've approved for us to move forward on the carbon farming plan. That's a partnership initiative with the Resource Conservation District. In short, that essentially looks at developing a plan that would help us learn how to absorb more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into our soil and locking it in the soil. So that's kind of the term called carbon farming. So pretty cool. We're going to get a little plan that we can implement into our Newell grazing or Newell management plan as a whole, and then we'll debate whether we can implement all the actions that are written out in that plan. But in short, the Napa Land Trust has approved for us to move forward with that, as well as constructing the new pedestrian gates where the cattle gates exist. So this will help with our recreation and our grazing needs at Newell Open Space. So this essentially helps us better manage that land and make sure that we have our trail users, having clear access through those gates. So we'll be adding those in there shortly and moving forward with that. That's grazing management in a nutshell. Eagle Scout project. So Vanessa Chen was a wonderful Eagle Scout project that we did with her at the Newell Open Space back on October 24th. And essentially what her project entailed was measuring out the trail so that she can construct 7 new trail markers and replace 5 orienteering posts that were burned in the fire last year. So I'm not sure if anyone's gone out there at Newell and seen these new signs, but she did such a great job. And we're really excited to have this new, just new signs to really help us better wayfind and navigate and have people know where they're going, how far it is. So I'm really happy that that project was completed and she did a wonderful job. Another Eagle Scout project that we have in the queue is with Zachary Bernard. We are going to be working with him to help complete the trail repair at Wetlands Edge. Some of you have noted that the potholes are rather large and frequent, so he is going to be filling those in, probably around 10 to 15 different potholes all along the first segment of the Wetlands Asphalt Trail. So he's going to be putting together a budget, he's going to fundraise for that, and he's going to recruit his volunteers. And then the day of the project, he's going to oversee his volunteer project and complete that for his Eagle Scout project. I'm really excited for him. So last item I have here is Wetlands Outdoor Fitness Area. So the concrete pad and equipment has all been installed. All of the exercise slots have been completed. And as you can see, the coffee morning walkthrough has been canceled, but we have here that it was still happening. So it's been canceled, but people have really been enjoying the site. It's been gaining a lot of attention, and people have been going on it and using it, which was the goal for this project. So we're really happy about it. So that concludes everything that I have reported on. So I'm happy to take any questions or comments at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Mamrell, any questions or comments on?
Yeah, just thank you. Yeah, quick comment. I signed up on Service to volunteer for the Halloween event, and just found it very, very user-friendly and easy to sign up. So, I mean, gosh, thanks for that. And quick question. For the folks that have signed up on Service, do they get email notifications with regard to future opportunities for volunteering?
So first off, thank you for using Service. It's music to my ears to hear that you found it very user-friendly. And we do have the ability to email all of our volunteers. If they've signed up for a project, we typically email them the day before just to, issue a reminder of things that they need to know of. Things they need to bring, how to be prepared. But as it relates to new projects that we do have the list of volunteers that have participated in various fields of work. So we have the opportunity to then single them out in a sense and kind of create another touch point where we do reach out to them, let them know we have a new project that's taking place that may be of interest to them. So yes, we do have that capability. At this point, we have not done that yet since we're still building our volunteer base and people are still signing up to be registered and to just have an account with Service. So I could see that in the near future where we will start reaching out to the existing volunteers that have registered and let them know, hey, we have this new trail project. You volunteered in the last project. We think you'd be, interested in this. So to answer your question, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And gosh, I think I was originally thinking that it would be a mass email to all the volunteers, but the way you have it set up for emailing volunteers who have volunteered with something with a similar event in the past, that's even better. I mean, I think we're all kind of tired of getting inundated with emails every morning. So
Yeah.
I really that approach is great. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Oops.
Thank you. Commissioner Einberger?
It's really interesting. I just have a question about the asphalt trail out of the wetlands. I just noticed walking out there today, a lot of painted markings. Are those for the potholes or what are those for?
I'll jump in here. The markings are for the for the new school that is going in at the corner of Wetlands and Eucalyptus, they are required to have a new storm drain outfall. And the markings you're seeing is marking the alignment of where that pipe is going to go. So it will go down the Eucalyptus Drive, cross the gate, and go about 200 feet past the gate before it'll bend towards the wetlands, and there'll be an outfall there.
Okay, just curious. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioner Cervente?
Yeah, thank you for the report. I'm really excited about our city tree planting. One of the biggest feedback I get from the community is that we don't have enough trees here in the city. So that's good to hear that there will be a planting project. My other observation, let me just go down the, oh yeah. I just want to commend Vanessa Chen. She's a young lady, an Eagle Scout lady, girl. So that's a big, big accomplishment. I know girls were not allowed not long ago to be a scout. So I'm so happy to see that she's done a project and it's the way it came out. So kudos to her.
Yeah, she did such a great job. She's a natural born leader, that's for sure. She definitely demonstrated the ability to complete a really hard project and to lead a whole group of volunteers and her scout troops to help her with installing it and doing all the work. So yeah, she was great.
I'm just happy to see that finally there's another hurdle that women are allowed to be in an all men's world.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I don't have any questions, but it all looks great. So thank you.
Awesome.
All right. So we can go ahead and move on to item C7, receive director's report.
So normally I don't have a whole lot to talk to you guys about, but as we were sitting here, I've come up with several items to provide a bit of an overview on a couple topics. So first one, the virus stability in Napa County. I'm sure you all have seen it, but I'm just going to reiterate. Our trends are going in the wrong way right now. And it's not just Napa County, although ours are spiking pretty aggressively in a pretty short amount of time. The county has actually the state has a date of next Tuesday to make a determination on where we stand on our opening tier color and whether we're going to be falling back. It's just a matter of, do we fall back 2 spots or 1? And so I think my point, I have 2 main points here. One is to all of the viewers out there, if there are any on YouTube and in video land, please do your part to be COVID safe. Wear your mask, watch your social distancing, wash your hands, sanitize, do all that stuff. We need to get this under control. It is for the benefit of our communities, for our businesses. It does nothing but hurt us the more rampant the virus spreads through the county. So that's the first item. The second item, kind of related to that, is as we fall back, as we regress in our opening status, that starts affecting what we can do as an organization. Partially, it's partially we're told by the county we have to do less things. We can't have as many in-person activities as are actually possibly no in-person activities. But there's some things that we do just for the overall benefit of the community. Depending on where we are from a virus perspective, there's some things we do voluntarily that we might end up ending. Like, I hate to say it, but Shalana and I have already talked about the volunteer project planned for December. And if we're in a purple tier at that point, and whether the county tells us or not, we're not going to be doing a volunteer project if we're in that kind of situation. So I think it's just important for all of us to do what we can to stop the spread of this virus. We're still months away before a vaccination, so that to the point where it's going to be under control in any way. So that's the first item, the virus. Second item, I was hoping at our last meeting to have ready for you an approach for the next 6 months, and I pulled it off this agenda because I needed to talk to our staff a little bit more about it. I did that this morning. It was good conversation. There's some work I need to do still, but I do think it'll be ready to share with you for a meeting in January, and I'll explain right now why a meeting in January. Our December meeting date, for those of you whose terms are ending, council interviews are going to end up being on our normal PCS date, because that's, I hate to say it, the only date that we could get all the council members together to be able to do interviews. So December 10th is our normal PCS meeting date. Is going to be used for interviews for not only PCS, but there's also, I think, a couple of planning commissioners that need to be interviewed too. So we will not have a meeting in December, and we don't normally have a meeting in January, but we have a couple of important topics we need to talk about. So we're going to have a meeting in January, and we'll look to see if we can make our normal meeting date work. I haven't even thought about dates yet, so just know that no meeting in December, but a meeting in January for sure. Next item, Chair, you asked about basketball hoops. Alana and I did meet with the health officer on Friday on a couple of different topics, and we brought up and talked about basketball, and the status of basketball still remains, and that is the close contact that is necessary in order to play basketball makes it so that it is a very risky activity, and therefore it is still not allowed in the county. And so our basketball hoops in American Canyon aren't going to be going up anytime soon. I do owe a young man who has emailed me a couple times asking me about the status of them. I owe him an email. I've been waiting to I had to share it with our city manager first today and make sure that he was okay with the direction we're heading based on the comments, the feedback, and then I will email him tomorrow and let him know what our status is. Next item, I just want to share, you guys have already said it, but I want to share my own self, how proud I am of Alana and her team. She and Alana, Vince, and Stacy. I don't know that you guys realize it, but we have only 3 people in recreation right now. That's it. It's Alana, Vince, and Stacy. We do have a couple other people that are on payroll, but they don't work a whole lot because of how we're structured budgetarily right now. So all of what we have going on is because the 3 of them are putting it together for the most part. So I just wanted to share some great accolades and my greatest appreciation for Alana and her team for all the great work that she's doing. A lot of this stuff we've never done before, and we're putting it together on the fly. So fantastic job. Thank you, Alana. Yes, golf clap. So next 2 items are related, and it was already come up once today. Newsletter is happening on a monthly basis. So each month, Alana mentioned we are programming on a monthly basis. So each month, right before the end of the month, we are putting out a newsletter that is highlighting the activities that are coming up in that next month. I would ask that as that newsletter goes out, I'm sure you guys have all signed up for it or have gotten it. that when you see it on the city social media, share it with all of your friends and encourage them to sign up. Just as a reminder, this is now our new guide, right? So in years past, we would mail out a guide to every household in American Canyon. We're not doing that anymore. So the fallback option here is to put this newsletter out on a monthly basis that is sharing their great programs that Alana and her team are putting together with our community so that they can participate. So newsletter. So the other thing that our communications manager, Jen, and I just talked about yesterday that we're still got a bit of work to do before we can roll it out, but actually came up to a point that Commissioner Cervente mentioned earlier in the meeting, and that is making sure that we're putting out some information to the community so they know the things that we're doing, kind of retrospectively looking backwards to share some of the great programs. A lot of stuff we do here, admittedly, it's a small audience that hears this and knows about it. So we're going to be creating a month-end report, and we'll be putting that out that will share the outcomes of these programs. And honestly, what we're going to end up doing is taking a lot of the information that we were giving you here tonight as a part of our reports. We're going to putting it together and sending it out to the community so that they can have that. I don't have a real solid timeline at this point. We just came up with the concept yesterday with a need to share with the community and share some after the fact videos and photos and that kind of stuff. So it's still a work in progress. It'll be sometime early next year. I'm just not sure exactly when. So I think that's it for the items I had to report on with you tonight. Any questions you guys have for me?
Commissioner Mamrell, any questions on the director's report?
Nope. Sounds all good. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Engberger?
No questions. Again, sounds really good.
Thank you. Commissioner Cervente?
Yes. Thank you for that report, Director. I had a comment, and since you brought up you're gonna be doing interviews for commissioners. So one is, are you asking the high school for the honorary commissioner like we discussed on the last meeting? Also, I just happened to notice today, and I don't know why I didn't really see it, months ago. We don't have a co-chair or vice chair, however you want to say it, and I don't understand why we didn't, appoint one. But so the other thing that goes with that is we take turns to chair. So who's the next chair? And and the next chair will take over in January as well, correct?
Yeah, so our January meeting will have to do both our meeting calendar for the year as well as the chair, vice chair selection. So how that's actually selected is based on the commissioners. I actually don't get involved in that, and I let you guys talk that out amongst yourselves. So you guys come up with it. As far as the co-chair, actually, Commissioner Cervente, if you don't mind, I'll go through the topics that you mentioned, and if there's another one, we can come back to it. So the co-chair, when former Commissioner Selleck resigned her spot, I thought that we were going to be able to reappoint that position pretty quickly, and it turned out not to be the case. We had made a choice not to reappoint until we had a full commission, and I never brought it back up at that point. We were functioning without a co-chair throughout, for I think it was 2 months before we came to the realization that we weren't going to reappoint that position. And so I just wanted to leave it the way it was until we got to the end of the year. The last item you mentioned was the honorary commissioner. We have a application packet and form all put together, just waiting on my final approval at this point. Cherry put that together last week, and sent it to our communications manager for review. She asked some questions, and I need to get back to her and provide a comment. Our plan is to have the deadline the same as the commissioner applications, which, if I remember correctly, I think is December 4th, I think.
It is, yeah.
And we have reached out to the counselors at the high school, and they feel like they have a couple of folks that they would recommend for that spot. So we are moving forward with it.
Okay, so when do you want us to talk about chair?
Chair conversation we should do at our January meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. So we would go ahead and move on to the last item, C8, items for future consideration.
So, Chair, as I mentioned tonight, I have a couple items that I'm planning on bringing to you. Our rec direction for the next 6 months. We need to do our annual meeting calendar, as well as set chair and co-chair. And we have 2 topics regarding the community garden that we'll need to talk to you about and get your thoughts and feedback. This will actually be a topic that will likely invite some of our community garden plot holders to come in, listen to the presentation, and get some feedback. We're going to be proposing to make some changes to our policy, which will affect some of them, and it would be appropriate to have them listen in and then provide their thoughts and feedback for you guys to help us provide a final direction on. Those are the, let's see, 4 items that I have for January at this point.
Okay, are there any other items that anyone would like to have for future consideration? Yes, Commissioner Servente, you're nodding your head, yes?
Yes, I wanted to see when are we going to talk about talking to council. Are we going to try to advocate to council for an allocated amount of money to fund the parks? When is that happening? How is it going to be done?
So when you say parks, you're talking about like park maintenance items, like a dedicated funding stream for annual projects?
Correct, because we don't have one now, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we start talking and not only talking, but try to allocate that funding.
We can, let me think about how and where. It would certainly fit along with the budget process, which we're going to be getting into here early in the next calendar year. I'm not sure if it'll be January or February, but one of those 2 meetings, it'll definitely make sense. Just keep in mind, as much as I totally appreciate the thought, budgetarily, we're not in a great position right now. So it might be that we end up having a conversation and talk it over with council, but just keep in mind that we're in a, we're in a tight spot right now.
Well, I understand that, but I also understand that I had a conversation with one of our county supervisors, and the conversation went like the county supervisors were really worried that they were not going to be able to make budget, but they have seen that people are not the taxes, they thought that they were not going to get enough money from taxes and from other funding other revenue that provides funding to the county, and it turned out to be different because people are not spending on vacations or things like that, and so they're spending money on other things that bring revenue to the county. So I'm thinking, is that happening also at the city level? I know that I'm, eating more at our local restaurants because I'm not going on vacation, and shopping at Walmart more, and all kinds of other stuff that might bring revenue to the city. And you're right, we're in a pandemic and we're in a crisis, but could it be that maybe our budget is not going to be as affected as we thought in the beginning?
Yeah,
think about.
Yeah, we'll, as city staff, we'll get a better sense of this after the first of the year. After we get our mid-year report on all of our revenue streams. Our interim finance director, right before she left, gave a report to council and went through what all of our assumptions were on our budget and what the reality has been since then. This is basically a first quarter report. And certainly some of our revenue streams weren't as bad as we were hoping, but others were actually worse. So in the net, as of October, we're down below our projections at this point. So it'll be interesting to see with the holiday season how that, if it continues or if it turns around in some way. So your point is well taken. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see where we're at.
Thank you. Any other items? No, doesn't look like it. Okay, thank you. So then we can have a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I move that we adjourn our meeting at 8:09.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Or do we need to do a roll call for that or no?
No, not an adjournment.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.